Hello. We are back with just a stream, no recording, no megabase, no nothing intensive. Everything sitting at a cool sub 50% utilization. Okay, this is apparently what I am restricted to until I can get my desktop back up and running. So, we're just gonna roll with it. Thank you all for still being here and for putting up with my unbelievably crap luck. Yes, he says while praying that nothing dies. If this one blue screens on me again, I am probably not gonna restart the stream today. It's... I will take that as a sign from God that I'm not supposed to be doing this. But in the meantime... let's see. Start with fish gambling block. Oh, do I need to do anything screwy for that besides just a quality setup in biochambers? What do you think? Yeah, stream is up, at least for now. Okay, fish breeding takes 2 raw fish and 100 nutrients. Good lord. And 1 raw fish only makes 20 nutrients. Literally fish like 500 fish in raw upcycle and it's done. Yeah, I don't know that that needs a whole lot of blueprinting. Oh. Tell you what. Why don't we start with some Fulgora work? That seems like something that shouldn't be too bad. Otherwise you need biter eggs for nutrients. I was thinking just ship in a crap ton of bioflux, but yeah, either way. Let's see here. What do we need for Fulgora? We need a bunch of recyclers is what we need. Let's see. Yeah, this is 7 tall, which means we can tile these alongside train wagons. That'll work. Let's see. Okay, let's wait to do that for a second. First things first. Okay. Can you please flip every second recycler? You know what? That's a fair point. Let's satisfy our OCD here. Let's see, recyclers from scrap dump onto the outer lane. And then what? Yes, you're welcome. That's a good thing to do. Let's see here. First things first, we have no use for... we have no use for ice, except to be turned into water, nor holmium, except to be turned into holmium ore. Both of those are done in chemical plants. Let's see, melt ice into water. Yes, you take water in, don't you? Okay. Solid fuel except for rocket fuel. Honestly, I think just shoving solid fuel into boilers is probably the way to go. I don't want to depend on heating towers here, just in case we go to Fulgora before Gleba. Hello, Selly. Designing has just started. I was planning on doing some modded planets, but my laptop decided to crash catastrophically on me, so we're doing something less intensive. Update on the piercing question from last stream. I got them. Nice. Do we want to? Might as well. Yes, these tech issues can... Please just go jump off a cliff. Okay. See, you don't need filters because there's only one input. Let's filter you to holmium specifically, and you to whichever. Pick up some more holmium if that happens to pass by the first one. Oh, let's see. Okay, what I would like to do is be able to... Whoops, that should have been copy. Is be able to chain multiple of these and make a nice little bus that comes off of the sides here. Hello again, Nikki. Okay. No ice, no holmium ore. What else can this be? I don't remember what all this can turn into, so we'll just let the game tell me. Let's see. Gears are gonna be a big one. In fact, let's put gears on their own belt. Thank you for the subscription, Corey. I'm sorry that there's been quite the array of technical issues preventing this from being a terribly engaging experience, but Oh yeah, I can look at the Factoriopedia, can't I? For this. Let's see. Scrap recycling. Gear, let's see. Solid fuel, concrete, steel, battery. Where did concrete go? Here we go. Whoop. No. I don't know what that was. Stone, red circuit, cable, blue circuit, LDS. Okay. LDS. And then eventually we get to recycling all of that material. Which turns into a bunch of other garbage. Concrete turns into, what, bricks and iron ore? Yeah. You can use bricks, probably. Let's see. We need one for iron plate. We need one for copper plate. We need one for bricks. We need one for green circuits. You want to avoid concrete in the end, don't forget to make hazard concrete first. I don't know that I'm going to make hazard concrete. At least not for this run. Let's see, bunch of green circuits. Right, plastic is another thing. What else do we need? Oh, for voiding speed? Yeah. I don't know, I'm okay with just throwing more recyclers at the problem. Okay, bricks, iron ore, that goes to nothing, nothing. Copper plate, iron plate, nothing, nothing. Nothing. Copper and iron plate. Wire, green circuits, plastic. Copper, steel, plastic. Green circuit, red circuit, iron. I think that's it, actually. Okay. You need a side balancer. So I am counting on the stuff coming directly out of scrap recycling being dumped onto the outer lane, and then anything from recycling any of those products is dumped onto the inner lane. It should balance out relatively well without my having to add a splitter of any kind. Okay, let's organize this. Something like that. That is an excellent point. Yeah, 5 per second from each of these. Yeah, it should be easy enough. Let's see. Okay. Just use infinity chest to void items. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Put blues and LDS on the same belt. Yeah, that's a good call. Let's see. Let's also put green and red on the same belt. Let's see. Iron and copper plate can go on the same belt. That's fine. I want to put bricks and concrete on the same belt just because... let's see. Bricks and stone, maybe. Yeah. Oh, why do I have 2 batteries? I don't need that. Did I forget to... I need to check this again, don't I? Okay. We have gears, solid fuel, concrete, ice we don't need, steel, battery, stone, red circuit, cable, blue circuit, LDS, holmium we don't need. Okay, I think I got everything. If concrete and steel are going on to... So concrete and steel are going on to output belts. Anything that misses this is just going to get voided by these recyclers over here. I am not concerned with... I am not concerned with voiding them at the end of this belt. I'm assuming that if I'm grabbing them from any of these belts, it is because I need them. Yeah, okay. We'll continue to give gear. Do I want to give... I really don't. Let's see here. Let's stagger these so I can tell what's being used where. You know what? I'm going to put solid fuel on its own belt, so I can just route that straight to either some boilers or heating towers, depending on what I've unlocked, and I don't have to worry about splitting those off. Oh, actually, do I want to do that? Yeah, no, that works. The only other thing I need to use this for is making rocket fuel, and there's no other solid ingredient needed for that. That's fine. Solid fuel, ice mixed off. So I'm just melting the ice that's going straight into water here, so I don't have to think about putting ice on a belt. Let's see. Why don't we put you next to circuits? I don't know that this really matters too much, to be honest. Yeah, ever since throughput on pipes became yes, it has been much, much easier. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with this. I don't think it actually matters all that much. You know what? We will put that next to solid fuel so we can route that closer for rocket fuel and rocket ingredients. Everything else can just go on whatever, wherever. Okay. And in theory... this all connects one-to-one. We can make a nice little offset bus from these. Back in my day, we had to pump fluids uphill both ways in the snow. Oh god, designing a high-throughput nuclear reactor back in the day was, challenging, let's put it that way. Hello there, Evan. Yes, you can all be grateful that, you never had to deal with the old fluid mechanics. They were something. Okay, why don't we test throughput of these? Okay, each pair of these can process 5 scrap per second by default. Happened to cross here after work. I am glad you get to see a stream that is actually working. We had some false starts earlier. Yeah, I had a very similar blueprint, Fire Wizard, and oh, that was an adventure getting that to work. Okay. No, let's not wait around for this. Mostly what I want to be sure of is that as these belts fill up with stuff, the recyclers don't get jammed. Okay, how are we doing? There is quite a bit of crap on this belt. Greens sometimes miss items, blues wouldn't. I mean, they rotate at the same speed, it's just a hand size difference. If I could guarantee stack inserters at this point, I'd take them, but we may be going to Fulgora before Gleba, so... gears are always the problem. I don't know, it feels like concrete is the problem. Or steel. But this is with stacking researched. And not enough batteries are always the problem for me. Okay. Oh, we have some productivity researched, don't we? Where did that go? Where is scrap recycling productivity? Unresearch you, we're not starting with that. Want to balance it a little more, maybe put 1 scrap to junk and 2 junk to junk recyclers. On the far/near lane respectively? With inserters? I mean, that's what this should be doing, right? Is the scrap recyclers output onto the outside lane, and the intermediate recyclers here output onto the inside lane. This is actually fairly balanced. And this is assuming a worst case scenario, which is everything is clogged and nothing is actually moving. And honestly, if that's the case, it doesn't really matter if this stops. I guess what matters, actually, is does this get backed up if things are actually moving? Which I don't think it should. Yeah, this catches basically everything. Yeah, I'm aware of hazard concrete recycling faster than regular concrete. I don't think it's really gonna be an issue. Okay, you know what I do need that this is not equipped to handle, really, is power. Because that works, but it's ugly. How much do we care? Bridge the gap. One question about this design: if you, for example, eat all blues and reds, you're gonna starve on greens. I mean, if I'm actually in need of greens, there are options. One is basically just wait until I can produce no more with blue circuits or red circuits, for example. That backs up the belt, lets them past the inserters. There will be greens eventually. If I'm really screwed on greens, I guess I can, make them from copper wire and iron plate, but I doubt that will be an issue. Tis a possibility, though. I really don't like how these power poles look, but I also really don't want to separate these out to make them fit all on the bottom side. Could also circuit deactivate the inserters for blues when greens run too low. Could. I don't know. I feel like the scrap ratios are pretty balanced here, and that just waiting for it to back up on blue circuits or red circuits is sufficient. Yeah, I'm on Fire Wizard's side. I see this problem as one that will solve itself given enough time. Okay. Not super thrilled about separating those out like that, but it makes the power much, much cleaner. Any reason the inserters aren't tagged for ice and the second Holmium? One is tagged for Holmium. I want this one to either be able to pick up stone or Holmium ore that passed by the first inserter while it was swinging, to try and maximize how much Holmium ore we can actually pick up, since that's the rare pull. This doesn't need a filter because ice is the only legitimate input. I mean, it can be filtered, it just doesn't make a difference. Thank you for the sub, Chloe. I appreciate it. Yeah, okay. Make this look as nice and clean as we can. Okay, what else do we need? We need lights. Green inserters can be filtered to more than one item. This is true. We could do this to Holmium and stone. But again, the only two legitimate inputs here. It's not strictly necessary. Let's see. One there. Actually, I guess we... where do we put these lights? Could filter the random recycler to blacklist Holmium just in case. That's a good point, actually. Then again, if we actually... I can't imagine we'd ever back up on Holmium solution, but if so... Like, I have technically... Yeah, apparently there's a hype train on Twitch. Just enough subs in just enough time. I did run into the issue once, my first time playing through before mega basing, where it backed up on Holmium. Box up any remaining Holmium. I think I am going to solve that problem by just making sure the trash flows. If there is static Holmium in the chem plant, disable the filter. I mean, yeah. Gosh. I don't know. That feels like more trouble than it's worth. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, that's good enough for lights. Yeah, if it's an all achievement run, I doubt it will matter. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty happy with this. I hate Twitch, but here is more money. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate it. Belts are screwed from the copy-paste there. Battery. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's transient. That doesn't matter. There won't be batteries on the stone lines in in reality. Okay. Let's see. And because this is 7 tiles high, it means this will work for however long we want to make a scrap train. 1 per wagon. Okay. Let's see. I need a new book for Fulgora. Let's see. Petition to make the lights on Fulgora pink. The lamps do not have different colors for different planets, as is. That is something you have to put in yourself. Oh, gosh. Okay, what else do we need to make? I guess we need to make some basic mall stuff. You know what? Let's start with science and work our way backwards. Supercapacitor, accumulator, electrolyte, Holmium solution. Oh, what kind of throughput do we want here? One of these gives 0.3 per second. Let's see. Why don't we design for just over 1? Hello, unknown. No, this will not be a unipipe. This will be prim and proper separated pipes. 1 for electrolyte in here, 1 for Holmium solution in here. Let's see. Those eat barely anything per second, so... let's see. Do we care about belt speed? Let's see. Yeah, we'll just make up to reds. That's fine. All green always. I am not assuming that we'll either have turbo belts or that using turbo belts will be a good idea. This is designed to get off the ground as quickly as possible. Okay, this takes what? Not superconductors, supercapacitors and accumulators. Holmium solution in that way, electrolyte in that way. If you really want to impress me, do unipipe for literally every oil product. I think I am okay not impressing you. The ultimate pipe. Yes, it's better if it gets there faster, but do we have a guarantee that we are actually going to be... going to be doing Volcanus before Fulgora 1? I think that's the play, but I'm not designing with that in mind. One belt that holds all items, one pipe that holds all fluids. Oh gosh. Okay. Do we want... Yeah. I would be... I would be more comfortable if we brought iron plates and batteries in here. Actually... let's dump this up here. Why don't we put... iron plates and batteries on the same belt so we can just make accumulators from that. That seems like the thing to do. 0.3 per second, and you need what? 0.8 per second. Oh dear. Okay. That's as far as that goes. Okay. Input belt here of iron plates and, come on, batteries. Let's see. You need to be somewhere up towards the front. Okay. Okay, good enough. Unipipe. Yeah, I am not doing a unipipe on this. Sorry. I heard you were interested in Rubia's haptic support. That's one word for what it was. Oh dear. Open the sink at the wrong time and wash your hands with sulfuric acid. Oh gosh. Okay, if I'm gonna do any run with the Unipipe, I think what it's going to be is that that mod that Code Green is making where items and fluids are switched. Other way. Let's see. Okay, Holmium solution, superconductors, electrolytes. Yeah, or a run where everything is a fluid. Ugh, do we really need one of these next to every single... No, there's got to be a better way to do this. I guess we could go down the middle. Ugh, that seems even worse. Power poles being pretty is the bane of my existence. Alright, let's test this and make sure I haven't screwed up anything catastrophically. Oh god, imagine if that included the steam for power. It's not a unipipe without that. Noted. Okay, we'll put one there. One there, one there. Okay, how much is this making? 1.2? 1.2. I don't like that that's coming in through. The inside. I would rather it did that. There we go. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Then I need superconductors, and I need to know how many superconductors. 0.8. Not superconductors, supercapacitors. Each of these makes 0.3, so I need at least 3 of these. My chat hates my sanity. Yeah, what else is new? Okay, 1.2 superconductors. Which we only need 1 for. Amazing. Where is a chem plant? There you are. I accidentally destroyed the 10 farad superconductor I bought for $3. Aww. I'm sorry, that sucks. That's a thing we can do. Holmium plate, plastic, and copper. More holmium plate. Okay. Let's assume that holmium plate comes in like this. Dragged off. No, and then this is all input. I'm going to hope that's a reference to Factorio pasta and not real pasta, even though it really seems like real pasta. Not that it matters. Let's see. Actually, we want that to go back out, don't we? Holmium plate superconductors in on that belt. We need green circuits and batteries in on another belt. Okay, let's start marking stuff. Green circuits and batteries in here. Holmium plate in here, and then we need... Let's see. Copper and plastic in this way. Still al dente just in time. Good. Do you plan on actually speedrunning and submitting to the leaderboards? I mean, I wouldn't mind submitting, but I don't expect to be anywhere close to the people who actually do this on the regular. Let's see, heavy oil, electrolyte, water, if not you. Thought I smelled something burning, it's the pancetta, oh no. Okay. Eight hours, 44 minutes is the time to beat for 100%. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be anywhere close to that. Okay, so here's... the thing. Just do it the intended way. I could do with more superconductors and supercapacitors for mall purposes. And I am curious. Not curious. What am I? For runs under 10 hours, they require replays to be enabled. Noted, but I don't think that will be a problem. Yeah, okay, I should split this up. I should have one build whose job it is just to make superconductors instead of trying to combine this haphazardly. Normal random seed new game plus is 3 hours 44 minutes. Jeez. You can change any map settings that don't disable achievements. I was under the impression that most of them did. Or is it just biter stuff? Richness doesn't? Okay. Time to go. See ya, Nikki. Thanks for hanging out for a while. Hello, Franklin. Other than a laptop blue screen now, life is within tolerable parameters, I think. I hope the same for you. Does it matter what goes where? Not really. They're all needed at the same rate, so... Okay, Holmium plate, copper, plastic, all in. Where are we here? Heavy oil in here, water in here, and superconductors out here. 4.8 per second. I can work with that. Don't we... Oh, that's why. Yeah, let's do that. Got a DC in one hand and a cat in the other, about as good as it gets. That's adorable. I love it. Okay. Don't let me forget to actually test this. Okay. Let's see. Superconductors, 4.8 per second. Hooray. Okay. We have that build. Which means we don't need this, we don't need this. That will get its own belt in a moment. Let's bring Holmium and superconductors in on the same belt. Yes, please do share a picture of the pasta. I would love to see it. Okay. Let's see. 0.9. We should make more than that. We need 2/3 of that for science at max production. Let's bump this up to 6 just to be safe. 1.8. I am much happier with that. Let's see. This gets electrolyte in. We will put a pipe there. And some lights. Okay. 1.8 per second. Okay. We are making supercapacitors here. Okay, we should probably make some electrolyte next. How much are we chewing up here? 12 per second there. And how much from the science? Because you need that too. $20 there. Okay. So I would like to make at least 40 electrolyte per second. Oh goodness, that's gonna require a lot. 10 of these. No, sorry, 6 out. So 7 plants. Okay, if we bump this up to 8. Heavy oil is not the problem. You are the problem, my dear Holmium solution. Let's see. Because... yeah, you are only making 10 a second of Holmium solution. Oh, that's a lot of train input that we are probably not going to be able to sustain. Okay, let's leave this as 6 for now. It's probably still too much, but... let's see. That's fine. There, and... I just realized power. Let's see. I could put it along the outside, I suppose. Okay, we can either route power around the outside, like this. 2 fluid inputs, 1 fluid output, and stone from this side. No, screw it. I think that gives it some character. Oh, and I just realized if I don't make room on this side, there's nothing for lights, which also... okay. Fine, we'll add a gap. Through that way. There we go. Lights can go on the other side of the pipes. There we go. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Need our constant combinators for marking what goes where. Heavy oil in from here, electrolyte out from here, Holmium solution in from here. Okay. And this made how much? 36 a second. Works for me. Actually, why don't we... That's cheaper. There we go. Okay. Fulgora. Electrolyte. What else do we need to make? We need to turn Holmium solution into Holmium plate somewhere. I want to say that's just straight from... Oh, yeah, that's also done in chemical plants, isn't it? Chemical plants are foundries. Okay. I think then what I want to do... Alright, there they are. Really? Okay, wait, am I out of my mind? Assemblers. Interesting. Okay. Tell how long it's been since I've done this. Okay. How transferable can I make this? I guess if I put enough of a gap. That does technically work. So that should be going out, not in. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is make a design where I can just dump foundries directly on top of assemblers if I happen to unlock those first. I think this does the trick. What it doesn't do... by default is offer... Okay. Okay. Doesn't look like much, but one can just dump foundries straight on top of the assemblers if those happen to be unlocked first. And it will still just work. Okay, the only thing we need... let's see, is our constant combinators. Fluids, thank you. Holmium solution in and plate out. Oh geez, each of those makes 6 a second. How interesting. Okay. So I'm very much overproducing here. Because that'll make 12. This will make 4.5. Oh, geez, and that's only going to make 10 a second at most. Okay. So this is already, let's say, extremely optimistic. Okay, that takes 60 in. That takes 160 in. Oh, jeez. Okay. I think that's about as good as we're going to get. Boring, putting some lights over there. Okay. Let's see. So this makes 3 per second of holmium plate, whereas this makes 12. Do we care about... Yeah, we might as well. Okay, and you need a picture of that. Okay. Let's see. We are making our holmium plate. We are making our electrolyte. We don't need to do anything about heavy oil, because we just get that by default. That all comes off of the bus. That all comes off of the bus or the electrolyte. Yeah, holmium solution, electrolyte, everything else comes. Okay. Oh, who is pinging me? Oh, that will have to wait. Okay. What else do we need on Fulgora? Let's see. I think we're either doing Gleba first for biolabs or Vulcanus first for foundries, but in either case, we can safely assume that Fulgora will be second or third planet, which means we don't really have to worry about making a belt mall here because we'll have access to requester chests by this point. So do we need anything else? What am I forgetting? Zoned out for a good bit. What did you make? It is all up here. Have our initial wagon to bus scrap processing. We have our Holmium plates. We have Electrolyte, superconductors, supercapacitors, and science. Pasta has been uploaded to IRL. Excellent. I will take a look when the stream is done, which might not be in too long. Oh, I'm struggling to think if there's anything else I need to make on Fulgora. I don't think... Did you make the electroplants? Yeah, so... I think we can safely assume that there will be a bot mall for Fulgora. I don't think there's any risk that we'll be going there first. I am pretty sure either Gleba or Vulcanus will be first. Hello, Manzan. What kind of hell is an all achievements run? So this is probably going to be delayed until the 2.1 release, just in case there's some extra achievements that come out with that update, but the idea being that you start a run on a fresh copy of Factorio with no achievements and you try to get all of them in a single run. There aren't any mutually exclusive ones, so it should be theoretically possible. In fact, not even theoretically. I think there's a number of people that have done that. 100% runs are a thing. Yeah, no mutually exclusive ones yet, at least. Steel plate, copper cable, stone brick. To make, what was it? Lightning rods. Oh yeah, I had this up so I could maybe mess with order here. Let's see. Yeah, worst comes to worst, downgrade the version and do it anyway. I agree. Yeah, I forgot that was a thing. And that was a thing. Okay. Forgot a bunch of these need electrolyte. Have many people done it even in one game, even in the later Factorio versions that have tighter requirements on the map setting for them? I mean, it's been done. I don't know if many people have done it. Oh, there's a number that are hard to combine with other achievements, Jonas. Lazy Bastard is hard with getting on track like a pro. I have done those back in the 1.1 days in a single save, and it's a pain in the butt. How long is the run expected to take? So I am more concerned about the timed achievements than anything else. I would personally expect it to take somewhere on the like 40 to 80 hour span for at least for everything. There are certain achievements that are locked behind. Let's see, what are the timed ones? Getting on track like a pro, build a train in 90 minutes, launch a rocket to space in under 8 hours, beat Space Age in under 40 hours. And beyond that, it's mostly like build big, but those can be saved until after you actually beat the game. At least 6 people have done it. So keeping your hands clean sounds easy, but there's also an achievement for not building any laser turrets until you launch a rocket. So, at least in the early stages, it has to be done with normal gun turrets or flamethrowers. Yeah, there's grind for circuit thrown achievements, there's grind for laying down, I think one of them is 10 gigawatts of solar. Let's see, and you need electromagnets too, so... I don't know, something like that. What am I doing? It literally doesn't matter. Bots are gonna handle this all anyway. Steam all the way does make more pollution, although I believe steam all the way technically allows nuclear. Yeah, There Is No Spoon does make nuclear a difficult detour to make. But yeah, I think the meta is Volcanus first, just to get artillery out of the way for enemies. Yes, it always comes down to boiling water, doesn't it? What am I doing? Substations are super easy on this planet. Is there anything else we need to make? I'm not going to make a handheld. Well, we need the handheld Tesla gun for Tesla turrets for Gleba. But other than that, we have accumulators in here. We have our 2 varieties of lightning rod and collector. We have that. I guess if we want to make modules for assembler 3s. But this is the basic stuff. I know speedrunners go to Gleba first in any percent. But someone told me that the The meta for 100% is Vulcanus first. Let's see. Collectors. Test the guns. I probably should learn how to do parameterized blueprints one of these days. And test the turrets. Where did you go? There you are. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, it's, never bothered. Sent the current world record in the stream chat on Discord. Yeah, 8 hours, 44 minutes for everything. Let's see. Tell you what. Why don't we experiment here for a second? Okay. Figured a programmer would have figured out how to do parameterizing as one of the first things in the update. Yeah. I know I should have. And contain math expression. Unless we can... do you know if you can do like a multiple of stack size in parameterization, or is that something I'd have to use a selector combinator for? If you could have chosen in school which system to learn from ground up, would you have chosen metric or imperial? I mean, I learned both. Metric is just generally superior. Generally. I won't say Celsius is better than Fahrenheit. I do prefer Fahrenheit. But other than that... Aha! Thank you, Frivolous Squid. Stack size of parameter M. Okay, product quantity. Value. Let's Let's see, and then formula is... Exact size of parameter n. Let's see. 3 stacks. Unknown variable. Okay, but I want to use this as the variable for that. Don't get the constants for Fahrenheit. What is 0 and 100 derived? 0 is really cold and 100 is really hot. E0S1. I don't know. Hello, error. I am trying to figure out how to do 3 stacks of product as a formula here. Yeah, I know 0 is freezing and 100 is boiling in Celsius, but that doesn't help you tell the temperature, which is what I need a temperature scale to tell me, is how cold or hot it is outside. I don't actually care about the temperature of boiling water. Gosh. We need to save changes so it recognizes the 0 parameter before the formula will validate. Let's try that. Aha! Fascinating. Okay. Okay. Okay, so if I create and then paste, and then say accumulator, right, I need to change the other parameters to actually give ingredients of this, which is fine, but you have correctly filtered and set to 3 stacks. Okay. What am I doing? Okay. Ingredients is easy. I would advise to start it with the item with the highest amount of ingredients, so you can filter for all of them. Okay. Ingredient of 0. Let's see. had this issue once, and I don't remember if they fixed it or if there was a way around it, where I made a parameter blueprint from an item with 2 ingredients that broke on a recipe with 3 because the third one didn't exist. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting here. I wonder if the right call isn't to just leave the requester chest blank and set it manually after pasting. Like, that's just a shift right click and shift left click. That's not exactly a time sync. Okay. Item count of ingredient. Okay, capacity, stack size, crafting time. Item count of ingredient 1 of parameter n. So what? We want P0 underscore I1 divided by P0 underscore T. Okay, let's try pasting that and see what it does. $150 iron plates. Well, it got iron plates right, at least. I just set the chest through a combinator that acts as a multiplier, read ingredients, set requests on the requester. That's smart. And I configure the multiplier as a parameter. Trick for gambling machine prints is to use numbers 1 to 5 as items in the requester chest and combinators inside the template, and decide those parameters 2 through 6, which are children of 1, which is the recipe. Yeah, I mean, that seems mostly what it's trying to do here. Type 1. Okay, let's see what happens if we fill in the rest of these the same way. Formula, ingredient 2. 0.3. Okay. Now, this only has 2 ingredients, so does it... Okay. It doesn't immediately screw up. 150 each. Which means it's not really doing the math correctly. Item count of ingredient of parameter n divided by crafting time of parameter n. Less than 150. Always just flat set these to 100 and manually adjusted per recipe if needed. That's probably smarter, honestly. Stick to requesting half a stack because all big recipes that need more have more than enough crafting time. If you're asking me, Chloe, how many hours do I have in Factorio, it's something like 4,800, on paper at least. That's off in both directions, though, because it's not counting time spent on, like, standalone copies of the game, but it is counting a bunch of time that is idle, where I've either let the game run intentionally or accidentally. Oh, was that my cat? Hello? My goodness, what a loud opinion that was. Oh. Can you all hear that? Somebody has some very loud opinions. Need a treat right this second. Okay. Heard the cat. Yes. She thinks parameterization is poorly implemented. I kind of agree. It's a really neat feature that could use some better UI. Alright, I think I will... Error 64, if you are on the Discord, for which there is a link in the description of this stream or any of my 3 most recent videos, I post cat pics in there pretty regularly. Alright, I think I am being summoned. And I've been doing this for, what, almost 2 hours now? Not counting the time spent, trying to get this working in the first place. I think I am gonna call it here, at least for now. I will see about maybe coming back and doing some more later tonight, if that's something people are interested in and awake for. But I could stand to get some food in me anyway, so I think I am going to break here. Thank you all for being here, and I hope to see you again either later tonight or tomorrow afternoon. Send cat pics, will do. Take care, everyone.